Kris, it looks like you had some new D pairings. Not sure if you'd use that in the game. Is that just an experiment for you, or is that something you're...
No, in the practices we mix it up. Just often they play with other guys during the game, whether it's after a penalty, power play, somebody's in the box, whatever it is. Just get a little familiar with each other. That's something we do often.
So just to confirm, we can expect the normal pair.
Same pairings, same lineup as we had last game.
So I'm wondering, after a game in Boston, you said that there's still details this team honed in on. What is it that you want to see executed tonight?
Well, I think one thing is staying on the penalty box. Tonight, I think our discipline has been pretty good all year. Last year, we're one of the most disciplined teams. It's going to be important tonight because how well Pittsburgh's power play has been, especially the last month or so. So we don't want to give them any extra opportunities.
One of this team's reasons for success lately, especially in the last 4 games, you've only allowed 5 goals. So what are you seeing about how your team's holding in defense?
Well, a lot of that is the penalty kill, how well the penalty kill's been, not giving up that extra goal tonight. And I think a lot of credit to the defense. They've been doing a great job of, defending, but the best way to defend is not having to defend. I think our puck movement has been good and not making mistakes. But I think also the biggest thing is when your goals are down, it's usually the last guy, and that's our goaltending, and both of them have been really good.
Within conventional wisdom is, Connor McDavid and Zach Hyman have been so good together over the last couple of years. You probably want to put it back at some point. What are you kind of thinking as you work through your lineup here over the last few games?
They'll definitely be together at some point. Right now, it was just more of a reward for Brownie. Brownie had been playing so well, and he'd been stuck pretty much on the third and fourth lines pretty much all the time. But, since I've been here, and, he's moved up that top line. I think he's been doing a really good job. But I also see Zach Hyman as being definitely a top 6 guy who can play those kind of minutes. And obviously, when you score 50-plus goals last year, you often don't get dismissed to the third line on a long-term basis.
I know, that you weren't here at the very beginning of last season, but it was a tough go for for Connor Brown, and kind of late last year and into the season, kind of seeing the player that you know very well and the guy that could be kind of a swing back for you around the line.
Absolutely. It's a major surgery that he had, and it takes a long time. I know you're cleared to play, you're physically strong enough to play, but it takes a long time, and I've seen it with other players who've done the same thing. And you saw during last year how he continued to build his game, and he just kept on getting stronger and better as the season went on. And second half of the year was a pretty good performance by him. I know he wasn't putting the points that he usually would, but then he really elevated his game in the playoffs, and you're starting to see his play pretty much all season has been how he'd been playing through the playoffs.
So tell me about the concept of when you have a third line with Hyman, 50-goal man, Skinner's on the other side, he scored lots and lots of goals. You kind of become a top 9 team, right? You got 3 lines that can score. You're not stacking your top 6 with all your top scorers. How does that make you a harder team to play against, I guess?
Well, we also got a 50-goal scorer on the fourth line. We would, that line is obviously very dangerous, and Rico is typically put up, 15 to 25 goals also. So, it makes it a lot more difficult for the other team to match up. If they want to match up, obviously a lot of teams have 2 good pairs that can play against those top lines, and we feel that McDavid's on one, Draisaitl's on the other one. Well, now that third line's pretty dangerous too, because you've got a lot of goals, obviously with Hyman there with the season that he had. So, and you saw it the other night with Rico getting his 2.
Kris, Erie is obviously a soft spot for you. You spent, your fair share of time there. How big do you think tomorrow night will be for Connor? But not only that, how big do you think it'll be for the community?
I think it'd be very special. You get anytime you have a player of that magnitude to represent your organization. You watch him for 3 years. You get you, as a fan, you probably fall in love with him, and just see him return. I'm sure a lot of the fans will be reminiscing of, remember when Connor did that, and remember that game he did this. So I think it'll be very special. I'm sure Connor's very excited to be back in Erie and getting to, 3 very memorable years for him. But I know the fans and the organizations that to have Connor back there will be a special night for everybody.
Do you remember at all the famous photo of when Connor and a couple of his teammates came down here, was in the photo of Sid and Mario when they, what do you remember about that?
Oh, I remember the picture of it. Obviously, Connor was a very young, young boy. But anytime you get a former player of Mario's caliber and then a future player like Connor together, obviously that's a special picture.